when you work with certain fabrics creating a buttonhole, there might be times where you need a little extra stability, and that's where something like a corded buttonhole is the ideal buttonhole to use in that particular instance. What this is basically just a very fine cording. It can be gimp. I believe that this is actually just package. Some people call it twine, some people call it string. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to open our buttonhole attachment to insert our buttonhole and make sure that that is in place so that we are getting the proper buttonhole size. Now the next thing is to actually put the cording in place. And I actually find it easiest to turn over to the underside or the back side of the foot. Here's where we're going to place our loop, and this is where we place our ends. So I find that if I take my loop just like that, so I looped it around that little prong, and I'm going to bring it straight down, and what's going to happen is it's going to slide in each one of these slots, meaning each side of the cording is going to slide into those slots, just like that. And I want to make sure that I don't have them twisted so that they will lay within that stitching. So that's exactly what you want it to look like. Now I'm going to turn around to the front side. Now to hold that in place while I put my buttonhole attachment on the machine, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tie a slip knot to hold those cords in place, so I'm not having to hang on to the cords, attach the attachment, and hope that the cord, I should say, stays in place. So I'm just going to tie a slip knot, and now everything is in place. I can slide everything underneath. I can attach my buttonhole, and then I can go through my machine settings. You don't have to worry about this. It's not going to get caught in your buttonhole. This is just simply holding it in place, meaning that cording, so that the left and right rung of the buttonhole catches the cording. So we're going to make sure that we have our buttonhole stitch selected. We're going to adjust our stitch length, and because this has got cording on it, I don't want it as tight as a standard buttonhole, so I'm going to back off a little bit on that stitch length, and I'm going to leave my width at about 5 so I can ensure that it covers that cording. Depending upon your cording size, you might have to go up to that 6 or 7 setting. My needle is, again, in that down position because I want my needle to stop down. And now what I need to do is pull down that buttonhole lever. So we're going to pull that lever down. And when we look at this lever, we see a graphic. And above that graphic, we see the word push. And we're going to do that. We're going to push that. What that does is that places the sensor lever for the next step in the buttonhole in the correct position so that the back side of the buttonhole reads that. So in other words, if this were pulled forward, we would be sewing in one direction forever because there's no way for the machine to know to go to the next step. So this lever has to be pushed back. Now, this is my fabric, and I've marked where I want my buttonhole to start, and I've placed a stabilizer or fused a stabilizer on the back side. You can use a sew-in stabilizer, you can use a fusible stabilizer, paper stabilizer. I just suggest that you stabilize your buttonhole. It will just make the buttonhole stand out or look more professional. So when I'm lining up for my buttonhole, I'm going to use, there's the inside ridge closest to you of the opening for the buttonhole. I'm going to line that up with my marked line, and I'm going to bring this cording forward. Now again, my lever's pushed back. I'm going to keep my hands out of here so I don't accidentally trigger. And what's going to happen is it's going to sew the bottom bar tack. And now it's going to come in, or actually it's going to move backwards, sewing the left side of the buttonhole. And you can see as it's doing this, this is actually stitching over that cording. You can see it's caught that left side of that cording. And I'm going to get rid of this needle thread so that it doesn't get in my way of, and now it's done the top bar tack, and now it's coming down on the left side. It will come down to the bottom, and you need to stop that. and the needle's in the left. I always prefer my needle in the right because that's the completion of the stitch, and take it in the right and bring it up. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to release that cording, just pulling that slip knot out, raise my presser foot, slide my buttonhole to the left, and clip my threads. Now, when you are using or going to use a corded buttonhole and you are looking at the width of your stitch, I strongly suggest that you do a test run to make sure that the width is correct, that it covers both sides of that cording. So now what I'm going to do is grab one end of that cording, and I'm going to pull, and you can see how as I'm pulling that, that's going to snug that cording in there. And what I would do is take this cording to the back side and tie a knot, or I can come in, and in this case, I'm just going to clip those cording ends, and everything is set for my corded buttonhole. To repeat a second buttonhole, again, you're going to push that lever back. I would attach my cording in the same manner and stitch it in the same manner for additional corded buttonhole.